God, one of my own aides entered the salon. I had signaled to him from the door with a slight twist of my head. He handed me a blank slip of paper, which I began to peruse. I cupped my chin and then rose from my chair. "You will have to forgive me," I said with a bow. "It's an urgent matter." They were thrilled.
"Does it have anything to do with Cesare?"
"Indeed," I said, crumpling the slip of paper. They were gawking now, and I felt miserable. I shouldn't have talked about strangling them. I wasn't Berlin's Bluebeard. I'd known some of them before this reign of terror began. I'd gone riding with one or two of these wives in the Grunewald. But the war had turned them into petulant children who had to be pampered and stuffed with foolishness. I went around the table kissing their hands, the ever-gallant Canaris. But the moment I left the salon, a sadness settled in. I grew morose. I couldn't return to the Tirpitzufer. I longed to flee Berlin and its cruel season. Jews were not allowed to enter the Adlon with their yellow stars, but such badges were also my own badge of shame. I had suggested to the Führer years ago that German Jews wear a yellow star. Gott! I should have had Cesare cut my throat or strangle me. I was no less a monster than Goebbels and his men. I whistled for my driver. I tried to imagine Motta, my white mare, but another picture crept into my brain. I dreamt of my daughter locked away in an asylum as luxurious as the Adlon. I could not visit my poor little Eva. I did not have the courage. But she was twice as clever as her papa. Eva wrote to me from her mountain. "Papa, my nurses insist that cowards make the very best managers of spies, but I tell them to be quiet. You have no time for one mad girl. You are much too busy with your spies." I didn't know where to turn. In another moment I would have wept in the arms of my aide.
"Herr Admiral," he said, "are you ill?"
"Don't be insolent, Hähnchen. Take me to the Liechtenstein Bridge." Hans was more confused than ever.
"Is it one of your private meetings, Herr Admiral? I neglected to bring my pistol."
The bridge before I pluck out your eyes." I had shaken the poor fellow. He'd never heard me shout. In order to compose himself, Hans shouted at my driver.
"The Admiral has important business at the Liechtenstein Bridge. If you want to save your own skin, you'd better learn to fly."
So we flew from Pariser Platz, but I didn't want to cross the Tiergarten. "Tell him to take the longer route. I'd like to ride on the Budapester Strasse." Both of them must have thought their admiral had gone insane. We went down the Hermann Göring Strasse, which was blocked with every sort of construction and traffic. It looked like a war zone, with squads of SS men, and I wondered if Himmler's Einsatzgruppen were back from the front to haunt us all and make Berlin into their own killing field. But they didn't menace us when they peeked through the glass. In fact, they were very polite.
"Forgive us, Admiral, but there's a lunatic afoot. He has threatened to blow up Herr Goebbels. Would you like an escort?"
Before I could say yes or no, we were ushered through all the cordons on the Hermann Göring Strasse. I was waiting for Wilhelm Canaris Allee to appear on the map, or perhaps the Gauleiter of Berlin would honor me with a portion of the zoo. The cage of Dr. Caligari. My driver wound through the darkened, moonstruck streets and delivered us to the Budapester Strasse. He was flying much too fast. "Slow down, damn you. I would like to breathe in the scenery." There was no scenery. The bars were closed in the middle of the afternoon. The shutters were painted black. I saw a crippled woman hobble along. I didn't believe in ghosts. I waved to her. Hans was a suspicious little toad. He understood the route.